Hello, I'm Edward L. Brownlee, and I'm here today to tell you about my new book entitled Rapture Factor on America. That's called Rapture Factor on America. I take the United States of America, called the giant, in my new book from the founding of it all the way through the history of it, clear to the millennial reign of Jesus Christ. Yes, this nation will be allowed to enter the millennial reign of Jesus Christ. But the Rapture Factor on America brings out all the factors that help this nation to become great, all the way from the pilgrims, the Puritans, the people that came from Europe, to this new great land for religious freedoms and other freedoms. God had a divine purpose for this nation. He had it all planned out, and He seeded this country with the gospel of Jesus Christ through several ministers, through several religious groups, which I've already said included the Pilgrims, the Puritans, but there was the Protestant groups as the Presbyterians, the Methodists, the Lutherans, the Baptists, and later on the Pentecost, the Assembly of God in the 1900s. But God had His hand upon this nation from the beginning. You'll find out in the Rapture Factor the ministers that preached the gospel throughout the history of this country, seeding this country with the gospel of Jesus Christ, and how those ministers and the people that came from Europe with their Judeo-Christian values that had a profounding effect upon our fathers, setting up this nation that God intended to use to fight back the forces of evil and to help Israel in these last days. But those ministers and those religious groups that preached Jesus Christ did have an effect upon our founding fathers, and you'll find out in Rapture Factor that many of our founding fathers, not only they acknowledged God in their minds, but a lot of them knew Jesus Christ as their Savior. And they set up our documents, our constitutions, the laws of our land by the Bible. And from there I talk about many of the factors of America, its struggles. I talk about the three great awakenings. There was a great awakening in the 1740s to help us through the Revolutionary War. There was a great awakening in the 1800s to help us through the 1812 War. And there was a great awakening in 1858 that helped us through the Civil War. It seemed like each time that this great country was going to go through a crisis, God would send a revival through certain people to bring a spiritual uplifting to this great nation, to help us through its struggle. But as the book continues, I talk about the factors that changed this country, what they did in our court system, how they turned against God, and all those factors that bring in the demise to this country even today, how we are going downhill, and someday we're coming off the world stage, and this country is going to head into the tribulation period. But God still has His hand upon this nation. I believe there's a great revival coming, even though this country is going through its demise and is falling. It's going to fall, because the tribulation is coming, and it's going to affect America. And I have this in my book, and the Rapture Factor on America talks about this. So the book is published by Tate Publishing. You can get it now by going online at tatepublishing.com. It's coming out in the public October the 22nd. You can go to your local bookstore and order it then. I believe this book will bless you. It'll definitely show you all the factors what made this country great. And it'll show you that God had His hand upon designing this country from the beginning. It's not God's fault that this country's falling apart. Man's evil ways, evil thoughts, and evil decisions, bad decisions, is bringing this country down. And you'll learn all these things in my new book called Rapture Factor on America. Order it now and be blessed. We need prayer for our country. Pray for our country, that many souls will come to Jesus Christ in these last days. God bless you.